Hey guys, welcome back, Bolt Spider here, and I'm going to be covering the new Albaz support that recently went on to EDO Pro, so the two new fusions and two new traps. And let's get into the deck profile real quick. We have two Dramaturge Despia. This card is absolutely amazing in a first turn combo if you get to search it, because it gets to another monster on board if you need it. Then we have the one Fleur-de-Lis with the one Dogmatica Ecclesia, so we have the small Dogmatica engine. Then after that, we have the one Albion. I'm thinking of bumping it up to 2 just in case, because it is another consistency piece that there is. You get to dump stuff to put it back to the deck, or special summon it from your hand or graveyard, depending on which one you discard, which is hand or deck. Then we have 2 Ad Libitum. I've bumped it up to 2 because this is actually very good, because it summons back your pieces after you fusion summon, so you can go into another fusion if needed. And 3 Aluber. This is the prime 3 of in the deck next to now Fallen Albaz and the incredible Ecclesia. So we have 3 Aluber, 3 Fallen Albaz, and 3 Ecclesia. And of course we have the one Dogmatica Ecclesia, so we're total running of 4. After that we have the one Mercurier. I'm thinking of putting back the Tri-Brigade engine because it actually gave a little more consistency and a couple more Dogmatica punishment and into your servant targets. I could even completely just cut the Dogmatica stuff, but it is nice to have since it gets to your fusions to the graveyard if you want to opt into running the counter trap, which is quite nice. But sadly, Nadir Servant isn't a branded spell or trap, which is sad. Then we have triple Ash Blossom and the 2 Despian of Tragedy. Despian of Tragedy is one of the best cards for recycling your branded spell or trap cards back to the deck, and if it's sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, you add a Despia monster from your deck to your hand, which is actually very nice. After that, the triple Nadir Servant. I'm definitely just thinking of cutting this Dogmatica engine, where there's other things that you can fill into it, which is actually quite nice, but Dogmatica Punishment might stay because the card's super powerful if you send something like a Natissa or any of your fusions that get a search. After that, the one Call by the Grave, pretty good card to have. Overall, the 3 branded opening, because this is discard 1 and you could just summon out an Aluber from your deck, which is absolutely great. Branded in red, being a fusion spell like a Miracle Fusion, by banishing things from the hand or field. Well, it's a polymerization, but it banishes the cards, so it could trigger your effects if you draw it into turn 2. Triple branded Paradise or Paradise branded. This card actually I value more now because of the Magical Meltdown effect and the Rhoda search, so it's 100% good. And then Despia Triple Theater. It really depends on how much theater you want to run, because it is searchable and you can put it back with Tragedy, so that's one thing to take into consideration. After that, we have Triple Imperm and the one Dogmatic Punishment, because our whole extra deck's just targets. Now for the extra deck, we have still the one Despian Proskinian. It is there. It rarely comes up, but it's always good to have. Then we have the new Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. This is actually a very wonderful card. You can only control 1, which is absolutely fine. Once per turn, quick effect, send 1 fusion monster that lists Fallen Albaz as a material from your extra deck to the graveyard. Banish 1 monster on the field, but this effect cannot be activated until the next turn. If this fusion summon card in its owner's possession leaves the field by your opponent's card or effect, you can activate this effect, destroy all monsters your opponent currently controls during the end phase of this turn. So it is a board wipe if they deal with it, so they really have to be careful of what they do. After that, we have one Mysterio the Dragon Crown. This actually came up against Eldritch last night while testing with my friend, and this card is absolutely insane. So it cannot be used as a fusion material, which is absolutely fine. This card loses 100 attack for each your banished cards. That's absolutely fine too, because it's a 3k beat stick. If a monster uses its effect to special summon itself or a monster with the same original type except during the damage step, you can target one of those special summon monsters, banish that monster, also banish all monsters from the field with the same original type. So what this does, if you have a chain where you're summoning something and your opponent summons out a monster of themselves, those two are summoned in the same chain, so you can banish one of those special summon monsters. So most of the time you're going to be banishing your opponent's monster, which is pretty nice. After that, we have the one Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This card has not left, and it outs Mega Clops and any tower-like card that you need to deal with. So I run one of this because it's just so good. Next, we have one of the Rebellion, the Divine Flame Dragon, and it is just a fusion summon by shuffling fusion materials from your field or graveyard or banished. But for the rest of the turn, it cannot attack. Also, you are locked into fusions. So this is just another way just to summon out another monster like an Albion or Masquerade, depending on the situation. After that, we have the one Desmond Quarterus. This card's just staple, and it makes all monsters 0, so you can summon this out, make everything 0. That's any monster that's not level 8 or higher fusion. So if you have this out on the field and 4 other fusions, you just have game. I decided to up Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon, up to 3, because this is actually a very good card as it's pay to play, and if your opponent controls a Ritual, Synchro, Exceed, Fusion, or Link, you could just revive it from the graveyard, and it gets banished, but with that, it gives you more material to use for Divine Flame. After that, we have the one Brigand. It's just there to either search Albaz or the Macarier, and this is why I would love to put back the Tri-Brigade stuff. The one Titaniclad, absolutely amazing card just to have if you're running the Dogmatica side, and then double Albion, because this card's amazing since it sets your whole entire spell and trap card lineup outside of Nadir Servant. If you're running a lot of the branded spells or traps. And since I am on Elder Entity, Natis, and Dogmatica Punishment, you get 2 pops for 1, and the one Link Rebo just in case if I hard draw into Tragedy. So, I do have a replay for you guys, but some of the other options you can do, you can run more Albion in the deck. It's actually more advised to run at least 2 of them. I'm thinking of bumping up to 2, but I don't know what I'm going to be cutting for it because this deck is a little too tight for my liking. The triple Fractal, the double Nerval, and the other Macarier you can put back in. Then you have Unlikely Swordsoul Allies. I never really tested with it, but I never see a situation popping up. Then you have Spriggans Kit. This can actually pop up a lot. It's a free special summon from hand. If it's normal to special, you add 1 branded spell or trap card that is banished in your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. So it's just Bear Brum, but for branded. I'm definitely thinking if I do cut the Dogmatica stuff, I'm definitely going to be putting back the Tri-Brigade stuff. After that, we have the one Omen and the one Baron Blossom for the Tri-Brigade stuff. And then I'm going to talk about the traps real quick. They never came up when testing last night. I tried them at multiple different numbers. They never really came up, or positions really needed to be activated. Being able to banish any of your branded spell or trap cards to summon out that many tokens is quite nice, but it can go south if it's a late game and you draw it. And then the counter trap, I rarely saw it, or I was in a losing position so it came late, or I was in a winning position and didn't need it. So I do have a replay, and the first one's going to be a test hand that I did. So this test hand had Destiny and Tragedy, Nadir Servant, branded in red, Paradise branded, and Curtain, or Opening. So I activate Opening, discard the Tragedy, Albert Church, and then Tragedy grabs Dramaturge, and I grab Theater, activate Paradise. Theater's effect, Fusion Summon into Masquerade. Effect of both of the cards, summon out the Dramaturge, and then grab the Mercurier. Activate branded in red, get back the Tragedy, banish both to get another Masquerade. And then this is the pretty much prime setup that you want with the deck, ending on double Masquerade, your field spell, and continue spell with a Ecclesia and a Punishment. You could also have another monster on the board, but this feels very nice as this goes around things like Lightning Storm because branded Opening protects your fusions from being destroyed. Then you also get a Fleur-de-Lis in hand because of the Titaniclad. And let's say your opponent really doesn't have anything, so you summon out the Fleur-de-Lis. because you have total of 2 interruptions, and then we just do stuff. Brandon Red summon out Quarterus, then we get a search and the Mercurier search for Fallen Albaz, then we're going to activate the Albion, sending on card, then we're going to go up into the new fusion, discarding a card, summoning out the other fusion, and you're here with pretty big beat sticks. But let's actually get into the one replay I have saved. I think I saved it. I did not save it. Oh, that kind of sucks, but I do have a video of it. So, we have the video that I did, that I recorded, because it's always good to have it safekeeping. So, this is the last replay that I had against one of my friends. He was playing Adamantipator, and I was playing the deck. Activated Curtain, discard, and pretty much have nearly full combo outside of one card. So I grab my Theater, activate the Theater, Synchro or Fusion up into Masquerade, use Despia Tragedy, activate the effect, grab, and summon out a second one, setting the Imperm and pass. So, he normal summons Guardian, he has to pay 1200 per effect to activate, which is pretty insane. He goes Parallel Exceed, activate the other effect to summon out another copy, and then he summons IP Masquerena. Then he activates Sign, summons out the Researcher, and Unicorn he summons, so he's going to try and put back one of my Masquerades, and then I put it away. Into a Negate, he summons out Access Code, and he cannot activate any of the effect until he destroys something, and then he destroys or attempts to destroy it, so that happens. This turn, I activate my Branded Red, grab back, and fusion summon out Starving Venom, and this is why Starving Venom is super useful. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. But anyways, see you guys in the next video.